Now on Up North Live, news at 6. A change in the law when it comes to Michigan drivers and their youngest passengers. What's changing and when? It's been around for a few years, but a new warning from law enforcement about a game your child may be playing. Residents along a pothole-filled stretch of road in Emmet County are asking for help, what they are hoping for. Plus, why these businesses gathered in Grand Traverse County and the information they learned about working for Uncle Sam.
This is Up North Live News at 6 on 7 and 4.
A change in the law when it comes to Michigan drivers who have some of our state's youngest passengers on board. April 2nd, the rules of the road for car seats is changing. So we caught up with a car seat expert to fill us in on what you need to know now and why.
It's actually more rare to see one installed 100% correctly. Most people get them close.
And Lieutenant Kyle Clute is totally qualified to make that call. He's had the training to become a car seat technician.
It's a 40-hour program that's put on by Safe Kids in the state of Michigan.
40 hours to figure out what most parents try to learn by reading a car seat owner's manual in minutes. It's why he and departments all around the state offer free car checks to make sure parents get it right and their kiddos stay as safe as possible.
The goal is these car seats, or these child passenger safety seats, are designed to keep your child as safe as possible in the vehicle in their seated position for their age range.
And safe as possible is also the goal of this, Michigan's new child car seat law that goes into effect April 2nd.
For the most part, from looking at them, they're trying to get the child in that appropriate level of car seat a little bit longer. So a lot of the ages change.
Under the new law, if your child still fits the height and weight limits of their seat, they now stay in the rear-facing direction until 2 years old. The old law was just until they were 1.
We want to keep a 2 or under in a rear-facing bassinet. And typically those go up to about 35 pounds.
When they get heavier, taller, or older, they can face forward. But under this, they need to stay in a harness seat now until age 5.
You want to stay forward-facing up to 5 years old, and you want to stay in a harness, a 5-point harness, till you're 5 years old is what the new state law says.
That used to be age 4, but lawmakers added a year. And now, after they turn 5,
booster seat, the state now wants you to stay in until you're at least 8 years old or you weigh out.
After 8 years of age or height and weight requirements have been met, they can ditch the booster but need to stay in the back seat.
Anybody who's under 13 should always be in the back seat of the vehicle.
Again, the height and weight of your passenger may dictate what they're in and what direction they're facing. But if they aren't above those, the law applies.
The longer they're in those seats, the safer they are.
It's a shift in guidelines intended to keep our state's youngest passengers as safe as possible by making sure parents pick what's right for them. As for installing them right, well, there is help out there.
You can also reach out to your local police departments, your fire departments. There are so many people statewide that are able to help with car seats, including your local regional hospitals that can help you too. So simply by just picking up the phone and starting to place a few phone calls, you could get to the right person. Now, across northern Michigan, many fire departments, police stations, and other organizations do offer those free child car seat checks. Grand Traverse Metro holds theirs on the 4th Friday of the month. They do ask that you call and make an appointment. For more information about the law, the changes, or seat inspections, you can go to our website right now, UpNorthLive.com.
An Emmet County couple wants people to know how dangerous it is for them to leave home. They live on a stretch of road lined with potholes on both shoulders and say the longer it takes to fix, the worse it will get for everyone. Here's Up North Live's Daniel Zivian.
Pickerel Lake Road. Just hearing the name can make Petoskey drivers tense, with memories of driving down the middle to avoid hollowed-out shoulders, only to arrive at a canyon in the intersection.
Whether I turn left or right out of my driveway, if I go to Melanson or I go to Petoskey, I still have to travel Pickerel Lake Road and Banwell Road. People are now having their tires blown out. They're having structural damage to the front, and I'm seriously concerned that if it's not a personal injury accident, if we're not going to have more than one vehicle involved or property damage, or someone's going to get seriously hurt.
Vanessa says she and her husband moved here in 2021. Last year, she paid $1,000 to fix the exhaust on her car, and this year,
I just, weeks ago, repaired the exhaust And then I was traveling Picker Lake and Channel Road, and a rut that was in the pavement got such deep sections I couldn't get my tire out of it. Once it was in, it wasn't coming out, and it ripped my exhaust off again, so I had to repair it again.
Hollow Peters says she's worried about trucks and school buses during the winter and RVs dragging rims to Camp Petosiga in the summer. She says the County Road Commission said in 2022 that the fix would come this year, but was told this morning that Pickerel Lake Road is now slated for 2027.
You can't tell the difference between patchwork and pothole. You don't know how deep the pothole is when it's covered in water. We have locals here. We have young teen drivers. We have people that are tradesmen that are working long shifts and they may not be able to see.
Holla Peters says she saw the Road Commission making patches this morning. In Emmet County, Daniel Zivian, UpNorthLive News.
Now, we did reach out to the Emmet County Road Commission. We were told the engineer manager was unavailable. AAA has issued a safety alert urging drivers to stay on the lookout for potholes. They're passing along safety tips to help you avoid vehicle damage. Those include checking your tire tread depth and air pressure, check your vehicle suspension and alignment, and avoid driving through standing water when possible. AAA says if you do hit a pothole, pay attention to any new noises or vibrations from your vehicle. If you notice anything unusual with your vehicle, take it to a repair shop or an inspection as soon as possible. For more information and the full list of safety tips from AAA, head to our website, UpNorthLive.com.
Continuing our coverage tonight, the suspected gunman involved in that 16-hour standoff with state police that injured a 12-year-old in Isabella County has been identified. 26-year-old Nathan Parnell from Coleman was arraigned on Tuesday on 30 felony counts, including first-degree home invasion, assault with intent to murder, unlawful imprisonment, and carjacking. The standoff started just before midnight on February 17th. State police responded to call for shots fired at a home on Northeast County Line Road. When troopers arrived, they say Parnell shot at them and they returned fire while Parnell retreated back inside. Troopers say 3 others were inside when the standoff began, including a 12-year-old who was injured and taken to the hospital. Parnell was arrested the next day. He's being held on a $100,000 bond.
Tonight, Grand Traverse County Sheriff Mike Shea has a message for the community. It's a warning and a request regarding the Assassins game, a game typically played by high school seniors. This is Sheriff Shea's message.
This is not a game.
It usually ramps up later in the spring, but this year, law enforcement want to get the message out early.
Recently, a Florida Department of Law Enforcement agent mistakenly shot a high school football player while the student was playing the popular Senior Assassins game.
The student had been mistaken for a burglar or home invader. Since the game is played with classmates and the goal is to eliminate the competition with Nerf darts or a water gun.
Please understand that any depiction of a firearm, even if it's not real, is a huge public safety concern.
That's because those not in on the game don't know what's happening, and it can be alarming. In the past, the Grand Traverse Sheriff's Office has received calls of people sneaking around houses or road rage type complaints. In 2019, a student posted a picture of a gun on Snapchat with the caption, "Y'all better leave." Suspicious situations that ended up being kids playing the Assassins game.
The actions of the participants, which include but are not limited to lurking around buildings, residences, while dressed in dark clothing and carrying an imitation firearm, are a recipe for disaster.
Sheriff Shea's request now is for parents to talk to their children about the potential risk of the game.
Few tragedies in this world can we control. This is one we can. Please do not allow your children to participate in this potentially fatal activity.
And our unscripted question of the day goes along with this story. After the sheriff's warnings on Assassins, are you more apprehensive to your kids playing it? There is still time to vote. We'll go over the results tonight at 6:30.
Well, Grand Traverse County Jail will expand its medical services to 24-hour on-site coverage. County commissioners voted unanimously to approve the round-the-clock coverage at a meeting on Tuesday. The nursing coverage was previously 6 a.m. to 10 p.m. It'll cost nearly $300,000 more for the remainder of the county's contract with Advanced Correctional Health Care. It ends at the end of the year. The additional money is already accounted for in the 2025 budget. Grand Traverse County Sheriff Michael Shea says the expanded coverage will improve medical response times and reduce overtime costs with less off-site transports.
Today, the Michigan chapter of the National Defense Industrial Association presented the first ever Northern Michigan Defense Conference. The event took place at the Delamar Hotel in Traverse City. Region manufacturers and military industry experts were in attendance to learn how to connect with the federal government. One of the highlights of the conference were the available opportunities for local businesses to work with the government and educate them on how their products could help the defense industry.
Local manufacturers and our small businesses have an opportunity to work with the U.S. government and the U.S. military to supply those needs and build supply chain opportunities for our small businesses.
A lot of how-tos and who-tos, who to go to for information so that they can figure out how to advance their product or service in the defense community.
Small businesses have an opportunity to supply the needs of the military and build supply chains for these goods.
According to the U.S. Department of Labor statistics, veterinary costs have been rising every year in Michigan at a rate of 14%. That's why Packy's Pets and Supplies in Houghton Lake says it's teaming up with a mobile vet clinic to offer more affordable care options. Packy's is working with Fetch the Vet to offer a walk-in clinic starting March 10th. The clinic will be on a first-come, first-served basis and offer routine checkup services like exams and vaccinations for dogs and cats. We're told walk-in exams will start at about $35.
I can't tell how many times I got up on a Monday morning or even a Sunday night and I need an appointment and I can't get in because it's just everybody's full. So here you can come in. If there's a line, we'll just take down phone numbers and I can text you when your time's ready or when your time to go in. Or we say, hey, come back in 20 minutes, or just like you would do like at a restaurant. If there's a wait, we'll let you know there's a wait, but we're not going to turn anyone away.
Clinic will be hosted every other Monday from 9 in the morning until 2 p.m.
The remainder of tonight, we do have some snow moving through the region, but not much. And then over the course of the weekend, much of the same. But next week looks a lot warmer and also looks like it's going to be pretty dry, too. We'll talk about that in the main weather in just a few minutes.
I'm Jada Johnson from Big Boys TV, and the Fish and Game Report is sponsored by Johnson's Propane.